Welcome back, Alicia Show listeners and viewers, because as you know, we are now streaming all of the episodes that I do onto YouTube as well. So I'm super, super excited about that. And I just do a happy dance. I checked my stats, and now we have been listened to in 60 countries. I mean, when I started this podcast over 2 years ago, I did not dream about the amount of people who would tune in to listen to the Alicia Show. And so I just want to say a special thank you to all of the countries. I will do an episode where I reel out all of the countries that have listened. I also want to say a special thank you to all of the cities as well. 943 cities have also listened to the podcast. And somebody said this the other day to me, how about your downloads? And yes, I'm interested in downloads. But for me, just knowing that my podcast has been listened to in so many different countries is really important to me, because if I can just help one person, that's enough. So thank you. Thank you so, so much in believing in this podcast. And thank you so much for continuing to listen. And as you can see, your girl had a little bit of a makeover. I'm going to get into that in just a second, but it was well and truly needed. It really lifted my spirits. And when I say the season that I'm in at the moment is frantic, it feels like I cannot catch a break. And so I needed to do something for myself. I needed to feel brand new. And so that's why I switched up the hair. I had my nails done, and those kind of things are strategies in themselves, right? And again, we're going to dive all into business strategies, but also well-being strategies in this episode, because I feel like in this precise moment in time, I have really had to draw for these. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago when I said that obviously because it was holiday time at that time, then I was going to be shuffling around the way I work. But there are other things that just came in left field and was like, Alicia, are you ready for this? Are you ready for everything that I am going to throw your way? And that's literally how I have felt. Like the grenades and the situations have just been coming. And so one of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to have a podcast was because I wanted to be open and honest about all of the things that I go through as a business owner, as a Black woman, as a mum, as a carer. And this was really important to me because I know there are other women entrepreneurs in the same situations that I may be having, that one may find it difficult to talk about or may not know that there are support groups to help them as well. And so, like I always say, I am here to talk, and not just to talk about business, not just to talk about how we can work together, but also to support, because I think it is really, really important. And one of my key strengths is to help people. And so I always want to do that. I always want to connect and build relationships. If you are finding it difficult at this precise moment and you just need somebody to talk to over a green juice, a water, coffee, tea, Prosecco, then book some time in with me and let's have a chat. I always love to connect with my listeners and my viewers. And so all of my details are in the show notes and also underneath this video. And if you are interested in learning how to build your brand from a holistic point of view, and so when I say that, I mean from you outwards, because you are the most important thing in this business and you need to be healthy. You need to be okay. You need to have a strong community around you, and you need to feel like you are seen and heard. So we talk about business strategies, we talk about lifestyle, we talk about branding. I have guests that come on a monthly basis to talk about their expertise. But primarily, I am here to ensure that you are investing in yourself to invest in your business. If this sounds like a journey that you are ready to take, then hit the like button and also subscribe to the podcast and to my YouTube page so that you always get these episodes as soon as they come out. Okay, so today, like I said, we're going to talk about business strategies and lifestyle strategies because over the course of the last couple of weeks, things have changed for me and it has really, really made me think about some of the things that I have to continue to go back to ensure that I am okay. When I left corporate late 2017, beginning of 2018, I made a conscious decision that I was going to go all in within my business. And so it has been a long journey to do that. And in between, I also had my baby girl, who I was told I would not have naturally, and I did. And if you haven't heard my backstory about my fertility issues, and I'll link that episode into the show notes as well. And that journey in itself, me having to deal with my fertility issues and how to trust myself 100% that I was going to get what I wanted was really impactful for me. And that was a turning point in my life because it really showed me that if I really want something, then I can have it. I just need to focus on that particular thing that I want. And so for me, that's been something that I have been really focusing on over the last couple of years and months and weeks to really remember that because in the season that I'm in now, it is really easy to forget. I am really juggling everything at the moment with regards to time and spending time building my business, but also spending time with my family and having one-on-one time with everybody who is really important to me, like my husband, my daughter, and my brother. And so that's been difficult. And then we've had things that have happened in the house that were unexpected, which means that we're going to have some upheaval in the house. I've had friends visiting, and so it has been really interesting to kind of zone out and then zone back into Alicia's lifestyle. And I knew that things were going to be a little bit tricky over this period of time, but you just don't know how much until you're in it. So it has been absolutely key for me as a well-being expert, as a business owner, as a wife, as a mum, as a sister, to take that time to reflect and also to go back and ask my whys, because there has been days where I'm like, why the fuck am I doing all of this? Why do I not just go and get a corporate job? And then I remember the way I have been treated in corporate organizations. I look at all of my experiences and my previous roles, and there has always been something in common, be it not being paid my worth or being passed up for roles or being excluded for different reasons. And so that makes me really focused and motivated to continue to try and build my own business and brand to the abundant place that I want to. Also, the flexibility that it gives me, that's really key and important to me. I've said it so many times, but one of the reasons why I did decide to build my business the way I built it is because I wanted to build it around my daughter to ensure that I was there at some of the really important and vocal times in her life to ensure that she knew that mummy was there to support her as and when is needed. I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have strategies in place in order for me to continue to be on this timeline of growth, because it can be really easy not to know day to day what you should be concentrating on or what you should be doing. And I'm not here to say that you have to be rigid, but I do think that you need to have direction and purpose when you are building your business and you're building your brand. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I think over the last couple of weeks, I have questioned my direction and my purpose, because sometimes you can let self-sabotage just walk into your brain and be like, Alicia, do you really think that you should be doing this? Do you really think that you have the expertise to be teaching this? Do you really think that you have the knowledge to be talking on this? And when you're tired, when you don't have much energy, and when you have a 4-year-old asking you, Mummy, what are we doing today? What have you got planned today? What are we doing? Who are we seeing? Sometimes you can really question yourself. But if it wasn't for the fact that I have done the work and I know my direction, I know where I want to get to within my business, I know who I want to help, I know who my ideal client is, I know what my company vision is and my mission and my goals, and I know who I need in the present and the future to help me to get to these big audacious dreams that I've got. That in itself helps so much. And so I want to talk about that a little bit with you all, because yes, we can say that we know exactly who we are, who we want to attract and who we want to repel, because there'll be people that they just don't vibe with you. So one of the things that I know 100% for me is not everybody's going to think that holistic project management is for them. Some people are going to be like, why? Why should I be thinking about myself as a whole? This is business, right? And I don't want to have to be out there trying to convince everybody that they should be working with me. I want to work with those people that connect with my message, connect with who I am, connect with what I offer. As soon as I say I am a holistic project manager and I help you to launch products and services and help you to grow your business, which equals dollars and pounds and euros and all of the rest, I want you to get it. I want you to say, yes, I understand exactly what you do. And even if you don't, you're curious and you want to know, what does holistic project management mean? And then we've got that dialect where we can go back and forth and I can provide you with more information, right? I don't want to say something and then you look blankly back at me. So that's one thing to consider, especially if you know what your mission is, but you're keeping it inside. And I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of not always sharing my mission and my visions. And so that's one of the things that I'm really, really working on. I said that to you in a previous episode that I am going to be working more on visibility and so forth, because a lot of the times we can always push ourselves that little 10%, maybe 15, 20%. For some of us, it might be even up to 50% to really help to be seen and to grow our businesses. That's one of the things that I am doing for myself. Are you doing it for yourself? Are you putting yourself out there? Do you have a clear vision? Do you have a clear mission? What are your big audacious goals? When was the last time that you wrote them out? A lot of us keep them all in our brains and then wonder why we are not then executing. And that's one of the things that I love about working with clients. One of the things that we start off with is a business strategy planning session. So I can extract everything that they have in their brains and we can map it all out, and then we can dissect it and then put it all back together. And that is really helpful for them. That is the biggest compliment that I get when I work with people on a one-on-one basis, is I have an ability to be able to hold space for them to be able to do this, but also to see their timeline, to see their execution plan, and to see into the future on how they're going to get that. And that is one of my key strengths. I have a futuristic brain. So you can be telling me something and I'm already thinking about how we're executing it and how you're banking the money once you've sold it. And so that's one of the things that I want you to really consider is, what is it that you want and how are you going about it to get it into the world? What is your vision? What is your mission? What are some of your big goals? And if you have it all in here, I want you to start to write these things out and know that there are people to help you to do that. If it's not necessarily me, then go and find somebody else that can help you. Remember, when we're building businesses, we don't have to do everything ourselves. It's actually recommended that we just work in our strengths and then get people to help us with the things that are not in our strengths, because sometimes that could be the bottleneck as to why you are not moving forward. And then I want to layer on lifestyle strategies. So at the beginning of this conversation, I told you that I needed to switch it up within how I felt within myself. So I had my hair done, I had my nails done. Now it's uplifted me to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, oh, I like how you did your makeup today, Alicia. It just gives me that extra layer of confidence to speak more about what I do, to be seen. A lot of the time, I wouldn't do certain things like have big hair like this because I wanted not to be seen. I wanted just to maneuver quietly in different spaces without being seen. And that is my own trauma, and that's something that I'm working on. And this was a big step. You know, I love purple. Wearing colors is another big step, but this makes me feel good. It makes me feel confident. It makes me want to show up. It makes me want to talk and do podcast episodes and maybe social media clips and interviews and so forth, because I am feeling good about myself. So what are the things that you can do in this precise moment to feel good about yourself? Is there some simple things that you can tweak with your appearance, if that is something that will make you feel better? Or are there other lifestyle things, like maybe taking some space and time out for yourself, that may make you feel better, or even connecting with other people? All of these things are so helpful. And I think sometimes, as I said, we can get to a place where we feel like there's no way out. And I'm speaking on this because that's how I felt a couple of weeks ago when everything was happening in the house. And I was just like, my goodness, can I catch a break with all of these additional things that are coming my way? What can I do? And it was only when I said, right, okay, I am going to make some key decisions within my lifestyle, within my business, and within my home life, that things started to change. So, like I said, switching it up with my own appearance, trying to get more sleep, delegating things that I just didn't have the capacity to take care of. So, delegating them to my husband or to friends to help out as well really, really was helpful. Taking time for myself, that was helpful as well. And you just don't recognize how much you were taking on your shoulders when you're in that particular situation where you can't hear or see or connect with what's going on, because everything feels like it's closing in on you. And so I needed that help, and really, really needed that help to ensure that I wasn't doing all of that on myself. And then connecting with my tribe, connecting with my business buddies, connecting with friends and family, taking time out to spend time with friends and family to fill up my cup. That was really helpful too. So once I've identified things that I really need to consider to move my business and my lifestyle forward, like the things that we've just discussed, then it's time to integrate those things, right? It's time to really step back and really think about, how can I do more of these things for myself in my business on a frequent basis, not just when I'm at breaking point. So that's part of my framework when I work with clients that we look at identifying what they need and then integrating it and then executing, implementing it into their lifestyles and their businesses. So I want you to consider that as well. How can I integrate? And then think about how you're going to manage that progress. You've got your clear strategies now. You've identified them. You've started to integrate them into your business. Now, how are you going to measure them as well? There are all types of ways to do it. You can have really simple spreadsheet. You can have a project plan. You can have KPIs, which are key performance indicators, which help you to track the progress of how your business is progressing. There are all types of ways, but it is really important that you do track progress in some way. I track progress via KPIs, but I love a plan. So I love to mark off my plan as complete. I love ClickUp, so that's where majority of my planning happens. And then I like paper and I like a daily checklist. And that gives me joy to be able to tick off from my daily to-do list. Because I think when we're in that overwhelm and procrastinating mindset, then sometimes we don't even know where to start. So morning pages, like I've said before, more than one occasion, get all of that junk, get all of that fear out of your head and get it down on paper. And then I always follow that with a daily to-do list. So I know exactly what I'm doing, because if not, then it all lives up here and lots of things get missed. And that's when I start to spiral. I love to work in palms as well. So I do like 25 minutes of focus work. That is also helpful. But just start with the basics. Like, firstly, asking yourself, how am I feeling today? How am I feeling from a energy perspective? How am I feeling from a lifestyle perspective? How am I feeling about my to-do list from a business perspective? How am I actually feeling? Ask yourself this. It's important. It's really, really important to check in with yourself. And a lot of the time we just go, 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 go. We get up, we pick up our phones, we check social media, we check our inboxes, and then we forget to check in on ourselves because everybody else wants a piece of us. And we haven't even had that chance to say, hey, how are you? How are you feeling today? That could be the answer to your everything. You can then make the decision on how your day is going to go and what is a priority and what is not. A lot of the times we are doing busy work. We've heard that term so much, but we're doing busy work and we're not doing it from a place of well-being or a place where we want to move our business or our lifestyle and our goals and our desires forward. And so I would really recommend that you check in with yourself. You also have people that you check in with, or people that check in with you on a day-to-day basis that can shift mindsets and moods so quickly, to know that you've got people out there that have your back genuinely, who love you for who you are and are here to help you to move forward, to grow, and are not here to hold you back. And so all of these things are simple things, and I know you've heard it before, but I'm just here to remind you because I needed that reminder for myself. I needed that reminder to continue to eat, because that's something else that happens, right? When we're not feeling great, then any healthy eating just goes out of the window. I needed a reminder to check the moon cycle, check my own cycle, really check in and again, ask myself how I'm feeling. Remember the things that I should not be doing in this particular phase of my own cycle. And that also helps me to pull back. And if you're like, what are you talking about, Alicia? I love to work with my cycle, and I really encourage my clients to do that also from a business building perspective, because there's certain things that you do not need to do within your business when you are on your cycle or the run up to your cycle. There are times when you're going to have so much more energy within your monthly cycle, and that's the time where you should be out there, being vocal, being visual, being visible. And so I work with my clients to do that. And if that's something that you are interested in, then I have a digital planner that shares all of this information and is really helpful. Again, I gift my clients this as part of their package because sometimes when you see things in writing and then you can go back, like I said, you can measure your progress and then you can see how you're feeling and you can then tailor things within your lifestyle, like food and nourishment and nurturing and self-care. And then from a business perspective, you can see the times that you have made those reactive decisions, and then you can then tailor that as well. So measuring your progress is really, really important. Having a vision, like that is everything. And then making sure that you have people within your team. And if you don't have a team, then make sure you have accountability partners to help you and business buddies to help you to stay on track. As I said, I just wanted to be here to give you a reminder of the things that you should be really considering within your lifestyle whilst you're building your fabulous business. And as I said, I just wanted to provide you with a reminder of the things that you should be considering whilst you're building your fabulous business, because this is going to bring you health and wealth and happiness without the burnout. I've been there before. I don't want to go back. I know the signs. And so that's why I knew that I needed to come back and talk to this, because no matter how many times we hear it, we still need to be reminded. Okay, if there is anybody else that you're like, Alicia, they need to hear from you, then please recommend this episode to somebody else that you think it would be useful for. And I cannot wait to see you next week. Anyway, until then, take care and remember you are the most important person. Take care for now. Bye-bye.